Now let's go ahead and take a close look here on the Workbench at our ArkPro Lite. And so if you're a big fan of the ArkPro series or you're new to the ArkPro series, I think this fits a good role here where you want a little more of a compact light perhaps in certain situations, perhaps like in different work situations I work in, where I might be wearing business attire or something like that, or I like the ArkPro series, but I want something a little bit smaller. Here's a regular ArkPro here for comparison, and you can see that basically the bodies are the same, but we're shaving a little bit off in length there compared to the regular ArkPro. So that's kind of a consideration there with this. A little more of a compact package, but we still have a lot of good features. The body is made out of 6061 aluminum, the OLIGHT's own blend. And I have found in the 8 months of using a bunch of different ArkPros, this to be very, very durable. I think what you're going to find with these bodies in time, over 10 years, the bodies are really going to hold up well, and we'll probably be looking at like battery replacement packages or something like that for people who love their original ArkPro. The glass here is tempered glass, and I've also found this to be very scratch resistant. So all the different ArkPros I've used, including the Lite here, very scratch resistant so far. I've not had any issues at all with all my ArkPros over 8 months of heavy use. And then also too, one of the things I like is the dual purpose clip. So with the clip here, you can either go underneath here or you can use this clip as well. The other good thing about this clip is they've made it nice and long. And so I've had an issue in years past with different lights where the clip would be very short and the light would be very prone to popping off. And I think you'll find with the tension with this and also the length of it, pretty much if you clip it onto something, you really have to use a lot of force to get it to pop off. And I've yet to have it pop off in any situation, like putting it, for instance, on the outside of my jeans pocket or something along those lines. Charging here, very cool. You've got two different options here. You have the traditional OLIGHT charging magnetic port here, where you just slap on their magnetic connector here and plug it in, and that works really well. Then also we have USB-C. So the great thing with USB-C is, of course, there's so many different phones and everything out there now is going to USB-C for charging. So much stuff. It's just becoming very universal. So that's really nice that they added that feature. I think that's a big bonus. I think one of the things I've seen with OLIGHTs in recent times is they give you a lot of like dual function where you can do one of 2 ways or one of 3 ways. And I think that's great for the end user. Controls are very simple. If you do want to do a lockout, simply hold it down for 2 seconds and you'll see a little symbol coming up there that it is locked. So if you're going to store this for a while or throw it in a bag, you don't want it to come on accidentally. Put it in lockout mode. And then if you need to take it off, just simply hold down the button and then eventually it'll go ahead and turn off and you'll see the basically the moonlight mode come on, and then you're back in business. Now for regular white light, which is probably what you're going to use most of the time, a quick double press. That'll go ahead and pop you into turbo mode. What I like about having a turbo mode where we can really kind of amp it up with the light is if we are in a situation where we need to light up the whole room, so to speak, we can go ahead and do that very quickly by a quick double press. If we need to go to strobe mode, now here's another thing with strobe mode I have found very useful with OLIGHTs, is very useful for signaling. I have found the strobe mode in testing I've done with the drone that it can be easily seen about half a mile away. With some of the OLIGHTs I tested with the strobe. Have not yet tested this yet, but I think based on what I've seen so far, it should carry a good distance. If it comes down to search and rescue, trying to signal somebody, whatever, that strobe function to me is extremely useful. And then the other thing too, if you just want to activate, let's say if we want to go to moonlight mode, you just hold it down for a second and it'll just go ahead and pop on. And then we have basically moonlight mode. If we want to adjust the brightness, we can go all the way through it. And I think we started at a higher mode there, but that's all right. But you can basically cycle through the brightness by just simply holding down the button. So perfect with that. Red light, we have 2 different settings here. So we can just activate it with the touch and we just basically flip it over to the red light there. And then we can adjust the brightness by holding it down. And there we go. So the red light's great if you want to protect your night vision and you want to preserve battery life. and maybe you want to read something at night, but you don't want to kind of blow your night vision. This is a great little tool to have. Then the other thing we have is the UV light. And so the UV light will basically catch up things that fluoresce. And so like right here on this mat, it might be hard to see, but there's different specs or whatever. And, you know, basically anything that will fluoresce, it'll go ahead and pick it up. And so these are probably different like metallic particles from work I've done before. And so it's just basically picking those up. UV light also, so anything that will fluoresce like pet urine, different things like that, it'll pick up. Take this into a public bathroom or something, you'll be shocked probably. But hotel room inspections, different things like that, it's pretty useful. So nice little handy feature to have with that UV light there. In the end, folks, the ArkPro Lite is a perfectly useful everyday carry light, and I love these things. They're great. I like the fact that they made a kind of a smaller version of the ArkPro. That is just very useful for a lot of situations where you want to be perhaps more discreet or whatever it might be. Yeah, this has ended up working out real well. Very happy with it, and it's done a phenomenal job. So it'll continue to be in my arsenal of lights and continue to use it. I think you can see from the video, it is a very capable light. So definitely check these out and check out my other videos as well. And we'll see you next time.